And the Packer brisket barely fit. Look at that. The A-Smoke Essential Grill is a portable smart grill and smoker with a rechargeable battery.
We're gonna spritz it with beef broth.
But can you actually smoke a full Packer brisket with it on one charge?
We're gonna check it real quick.
We're still about 50 degrees away.
Look at where the pellets are at. See our battery. It's pretty much
shot. Let's give it a try right here on Al Lunacy Queuing. Welcome back, my good people. Today we are in search of a full Packer brisket that will fit on the A-Smoke Essential Smoker. So I'm projecting that it has to be less than 10 pounds for it to fit. So that's what we're looking for. And now we are back home with this 9-pound brisket we selected, and yes, it fits perfectly on our A-Smoke smoker. So let's get to work on our brisket rub. So we are going with an SPGO Plus rub. I'll explain in just a few what that means. It starts with 2 heaping teaspoons of 16 mesh coarse black pepper, 1 heaping teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 lame teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 lame teaspoon of onion powder. Mix that up and you got SPGO rub, salt, pepper, garlic, onion. But wait, there's more. Now here's the plus part. 1 pack of Goya cilantro with achote for some additional flavor and color, and half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Give all that a mix, and we have ourselves our SPGO Plus rub. Now to move on to trimming our brisket. Now I'm sure you've seen many brisket trimming videos, and if you haven't, there's plenty of them on YouTube that you can search if you'd like a deeper explanation. Basically, I'm going to remove much of the fat that won't render and cut the brisket into an oval shape to get an even bark. Then we'll use Heinz 57 sauce as a rub binder and season the brisket with our SPGO Plus rub. Now let me explain the objective. This is an 8.88 pound brisket, and after a projected trim of 1.5 pounds, it will weigh approximately 7.38 pounds. Our goal is to cook this brisket at an average of 1 hour per pound, so approximate cooking time should be around 7.5 hours. A-Smoke, the manufacturer of the portable grill we'll be using, states that you can get a total of 8 hours of use from 1 battery charge, cooking at a temperature of 230 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm hoping that 230 degrees can get us through our 1 hour per pound average cooking time. If needed, we'll higher the temp towards the end if we need to speed up the cook. The rub we made was just enough to cover the brisket completely. Now let's go outside and get our smoker going so we can start the cook. Now here's our battery. I'm going to install it, set the temperature, and get our brisket on since we're limited on battery life. 8:20 a.m. with our brisket at 39 degrees and 100% battery life, and we hit a speed bump already. The smart LCD display says we have to update our firmware. With the fan turning on automatically, we will drain some battery life doing the update, but we press on. This is our second update notification since I've owned the smoker. It's good seeing A-Smoke committed to improving their product through these updates. Once we are done installing the update, we set our temperature at 230 degrees. Projected cooking time is 7.5 hours. That falls just under the 8-hour estimate of battery life, but that update did take some battery life away, so we are cutting it really close. Our cooking start time for the brisket is 8:27 a.m., taking a total of 7 minutes from our battery time. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, so I did put the probe in, probe number 1. I set it at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. We're at 39 down there. It tells me the progress. And then I did set this at 230. It overshot to 250. So it's coming back down. I'm gonna go get breakfast and I'll monitor the cook using my A-Smoke app. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so we're cruising right along to 127 internal temperature of the brisket. Not bad for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours in. And 237 on the temperature where we were set at 230. So a little bit above, but we're okay. We're gonna spritz it with beef broth.
Now, I usually don't spritz until it's 160 or above, but this select grade brisket was drying out fast.
We got our beef tallow tray here. That's good enough for us.
I was tempted to up the temperature to 250 degrees, but we were doing okay so far with our battery life and the temp of the brisket. At 3 hours in, I decided to check the hopper, and we have about half left from our 4 pounds of pellets. Brisket temp was at 138 degrees Fahrenheit with 70% battery life left and still running the smoker at 230 degrees Fahrenheit. So far, so good. To not get the bottom side too crispy, I'm going to flip it over for a bit and spritz. We'll flip it back when we get ready to put it in the braising pan. At 1:01 p.m., we have about a quarter of the pellets left, and we are still about 50 degrees away from the 200 plus for our brisket to get done. So I'm starting to worry a bit. And so I flipped the brisket back over and put it in a foil tray. I then fill it with beef broth to begin the braising process, but we'll leave it uncovered for now for the broth to take in some of that smoke. We'll up the temp to 250 degrees and hope for the best. 6.5 hours of cooking time, we are still 15 degrees away from our targeted temperature of 200. Increasing the temperature of the smoker to 250 degrees has begun to eat away at our battery. We only have 20% left, so we cover up the brisket to speed up the cook. Inside, we get our barbecue sauce ready. Our mix is about 50% barbecue sauce, 30% ketchup, and 20% W sauce. We put it in a squeezable container and shake it all up.
7.5 hours in, we barely made it. Look at where the pellets are at.
Just like we projected, we barely made it. The smoker actually turned off when the brisket hit 200. I just turned it back on to take a look at the battery indicator. The brisket temperature will carry over a few degrees, then we will rest it in our pizza oven, covered in the foil tray at 150 degrees for about an hour.
Let's take the brisket inside. Still a little hot. Perfect for something like that. I'll put a link for it down below. We'll slice it down the middle. I'll bring it this way. Wow. The brisket reveal. Look at that bad boy. Nice and juicy. I'm not going to squeeze it, but look, very well rendered. Look at the ooze. Ouch, it's still hot. Look at the smoke ring, guys. The smoke ring on that, beautiful. Cut 2 slices. 2 from the moist and 2 from the flat. Then we get a little bit of both on the sandwich there. So you see the beautiful bark on the moist and then on the flat. Beautiful. So let's chop it up now, and then I'll get you in close.
Nothing says I'm having a great summer more than enjoying a delicious chopped brisket sandwich. Guys and gals, this one was super close to a fail, but somehow we made it happen. Honestly, I wasn't sure this little A-Smoke Essential Portable Smoker could pull it off, but the results speak for themselves. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you on this one. Appreciate your support. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment, like, and share. We have more videos in the making, so hope to see you again very soon.